Cloud. Okay, good. Got you. All right, now tell us a little bit about yourself, Bonnie.
Well, I live in New Hampshire. I'm a mom of five, three grown stepchildren. My son's 15, and I'm in the process of adopting a 5-year-old. And when I'm not doing Sensi, I normally do accounting, bookkeeping, taxes, that kind of stuff.
Wow. And so what made you join Sensi?
Lynn, I've known
And
Lynn.
Lynn,
Yeah, I've known Lynn most of my life. I grew up best friends with her sister, so she's kind of like family. So I originally had planned on joining just to because I always buy the Scentsy product, so I figured I'll help her out. She was trying to promote, and I was gonna just get my credits and all of that kind of thing. And then my mom got sick the month before when I joined. She got sick in April, and I joined in May. So then I was homebound 24/7 taking care of her. So I figured I might as well just try the Facebook party and see if I like it. And it was one party right after another. So I ended up loving it.
wow, that's amazing how you joined just to help out a friend, and it turned into something so much more for you and for your business.
Right.
Um, I think that's awesome. So, and I just had another question because have been doing all the things. So you joined because you just wanted to help a friend. You quickly made it into a very, very thriving business. So tell us, for those of us on the call, um, what do you do on a daily basis for your business? Because consistency is definitely one of your strong points. So tell me, what consistent activities do you do that do you contribute to making your success?
I always post something on my Scentsy page, but not always a product. I don't always post something that I'm selling. I always post like in a fun interactive thing, whether it's the predictive text post or things other than, hey, I'm selling Scentsy, want to buy something? Because I feel like that gets where people are like, oh, what, she's posting something again, that kind of thing. And right now I have a lot of free time because I'm still taking care of my mom. So I do have that as an advantage. But I at least check in with people that have ordered from me weekly. And I ask people, anybody that seems interested in the product that purchases a lot, I don't directly ask them to join, but I, in not so many words, try to get them thinking about it, like how fun it is, or that I always tell my story about just joining to get the credits, and now look, this is what I'm doing. My main thing is staying active on my Facebook page at the moment because I don't go anywhere. I'm still taking care of my mom.
So I want to know, for those, because you mentioned earlier you have a lot of time because you are taking care of your mom. Not everybody has a lot of time, and I know taking care of your mom must take a lot of your time.
Yes, it
So,
does.
on average, what do you think you spend on your Cincy business per day?
Probably 2 to 3 hours right now.
Okay,
But
well,
I am still
and
working. I still do my bookkeeping on the side. I do that for my home, so I still get that done.
mhm.
Um, but I s- I spend a lot of time at night. But if I'm not doing Facebook parties, which thankfully lately I'd have one, like I don't think there's been a week where I haven't had one. But I do a lot of research on like Pinterest just to get new, because I see a lot of the same games that we play. So I try to get the new, like similar games but newer ones. So I do a lot of Pinterest and just searching Google for new games or posts for parties. And I have them all organized in folders. One's like Simon Says post. I can easily find things.
Wow. How do you find the best way is to book your parties? You say you have parties every single week. What is your big secret there about getting so many parties?
Honestly, I don't know, but I always make sure that when I'm doing a party, no matter how stupid I think I sound, I always try to be like overly excited when I'm posting stuff and talk about how much fun I'm having and how I love doing this. And 9 out of 10 times, somebody at the end of that Facebook party, I think I've always gotten somebody to book a party off a party. I at the end of a party, I always post, the host will get that half price credit, half price item if one of her friends books off her party. Not in so many words. To me, I sound like an idiot, but it works. Like I really sound excited.
Well, but
Overly.
like you said, it works. And do you do lives or do you do
No,
postings?
I never do lives, and that's my downfall. That's the one thing that I don't do. I I just can't do it.
Yeah. Well, that's, so you still have room to grow in your comfort zone, and this is definitely a stepping stone to that.
Right?
I'm super proud of you for doing this call tonight. For number one, that you're sick, and number two, that it is way out of your comfort zone.
It
So
sure is. My stomach hurts about this.
well, I think you're doing fantastic. And this is the deal. You have so much to offer, and you have so much to offer your customers. You have so much to offer your team. You have so much to offer all of us. So, I think you're doing fantastic. Bless you, baby. Okay. So you always book, you don't do any lives. You do, Facebook postings. Do you use a service or anything for your Facebook parties, or do you just post yourself, or do you schedule the post, or what do you do?
No, I always schedule my posts for the next day, the night before, just in case something comes up or I get busy. So I always post them the night before. I take the 10, 15 minutes, post what I'm posting the next day, except for the games. And then that evening, every night, if I'm doing a 5-day party or a 3-day party, the 5-day parties, I always do an interactive post that night. So it's not always about the products, just to get the people interactive. And that seems to work well. Um, I have I do all like a 3-day party, I do 5-day parties and 30-minute parties, and they've all really been pretty successful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm doing right now, I'm doing the duo consultant party with a 31 consultant. And this will be the
Oh,
second
that's
one
fun.
I've done, and the first one was great.
Ah, very nice, very nice. Um, okay, so can you share with us on the Ignite group? Like, do you have an outline for your 3-day party or your 5-day party? Is there outlines for that?
I have a schedule that I follow, yes.
Okay.
I can do
Yeah,
that.
it would be so helpful because it's always good to get different ideas for parties. So I leave my parties open for like 7 days, 7 to 10 days. And sometimes I feel like that's too long and the people forget to buy. Not I mean they forget to come back to the party. So I love the concept of a 3-day party.
Yep.
Do you find that those are pretty successful?
Yes, that's what I started at when I
Huh.
first started doing the Facebook parties. I started at 7 days, and I knew within the first couple of weeks that was way too long. So I
Mhm.
went down to the 5 days, and then I thought, well, I'm going to try a 3-day one. So I have a lot of success with a 3-day party. It's a lot of posts, and I don't like to overwhelm people, and that's why I didn't like doing the 3-day, but I'm finding
Mhm.
that it's working better.
Yeah, people's attention's like, I feel
Yep.
like they just want to get it in, get it out. Last question on the parties, and this is just me inquiring minds want to know, how do you encourage people to buy from the party? I find sometimes that I get a lot of people. I have a downline right now who has people there. She's getting interaction, but they're not buying.
I don't know how, honestly. I mean, when I post about a product, I I really post like what I like about the product, what not what they'd like. I post what I find personally, and I'm honest when I post something that I haven't tried, I do say I haven't tried this, but these are what other customers have said. Uh, but when I post something, I like counter clean's obviously one of my favorite things, in the flower and things like that. But I always try to put in my post something that I've experienced, not why they should buy it. I guess I don't know how to explain that really.
And I think that's probably the key, is that flyers don't sell, but personal experiences and things like that do. And
Right.
I find when I get my hostess excited and my hostess is involved in it, then it's better, because then it's not just me, the consultant, selling, it's now the hostess that's selling.
Right.
So yeah, I like that. Okay. I will move on from parties. I'm sorry that some of that was personal and some were questions. So I think we kind of already answered this question. What have been your most successful parties?
Yeah,
Is there anything? I don't think we should add. I don't think you need to add anything to that. The next one is, how do you share Scentsy outside of social media, or do you?
I do. Well, not a lot, but I email every person that's ever placed an order every Friday with anything
Oh,
that's upcoming to be released, my stock list, and then if anybody buys anything out of my that I have on hand, I always turn around and place an order with it, so I kind of build my PRV with that. Um, um,
uh,
oh, I go through drive-throughs with my Sensi Go on to make sure I always have my, if I'm going through like Dunkin' Donuts or the bank, anything with, well, not really the bank, but anything with an open window, it works every time. They always smell it. I've gotten a couple people that were like, "Oh, well, give me your card," just because they can smell the Sensi Go from my car. Um, and every month I send out samples with the monthly brochure. I think that's really, oh, and every couple of months I'll throw in the body sample or the laundry sample, but I don't do a whole lot outside of Facebook.
yeah, well, I'd say that's a lot. But the mailers for me, the consistent mailers have been a game changer for my business because I'm in front
Yes,
of my customers. Because I think social media sometimes it just gets lost. So just
right.
having that there, it it's very, very helpful. So that's amazing. Okay, the next one is, and this is a new, maybe a fairly new one. I mean, you've had a team for a bit, but now that you're a director, um, how do you train and motivate your team, or what are you doing with your team currently?
So with my team, I don't really think that well, I help them with anything that I've been doing, but we, I try to, I have a team page and I try to share graphics that I use. I have albums on the page that so they can easily find them. But I've told everybody, we all post challenges and then we pick one somebody else's challenge. So kind of, I'm not posting a challenge for them. Everyone's kind of joining together. So we kind of pick somebody else's. And I post some YouTube videos that I find about Facebook parties and recruiting. So they watch those. I don't know. I have a really good team.
I love that you ask them to share and them to go and post challenges too,
Yeah,
because sometimes we post challenges and it's not it's not something that they feel comfortable with, or they, and not that necessarily comfortable, but they're just not passionate about it. I really love that you have them do that, and then you're training them to already be a leader by doing that too. So
right.
that's fantastic. That's awesome. All right. And it just, for everybody else that's on the call, when I ask her to do this, she's like, I don't even know what I do. I just do things. Like, I don't necessarily have, uh, you know, I just do all the things. And I just think that's so important, that especially at the beginning, we just kind of do, and we're on this path and we just don't stop. But write down what you're doing, make a system out of it. Like you said, every Friday I do this. You may not think that it's routine, but it is routine. And sometimes when life gets hectic, or life gets extremely busy, we just tend to forget that. So make yourself some sort of a system that works for you, or things that you're doing right now that are working. Write those down so that later on in your business, when things start to not work, you can go back and you can look at those things and you can say, oh, I remember when I was doing emails to my customers every Friday, and I haven't been doing that in a while. I think I'm going to start that up again. I think it's really important, especially for all of you young and new leaders, that you need to start writing down what's working. Okay, and this is the last question I have for you is, give us your number one recruiting tip.
Okay. So I wrote something out for this one because I wasn't sure by the time I got to this question, I was not sure. So my number one thing is, which I've already said, is always, always act excited, even if you think you look like an idiot, because it works. And when I don't ever approach somebody, even through Messenger or anything, about joining first. I have never done it once. I have been approached, or what has worked for me is I always post in a party that the post of the Simon Says, ask me any question about my business.
Mhm.
So the minute someone asks a question that even remotely seems like they're kind of interested, then I might send a message and say, answer the question. I'll answer the question on the party, but then I'll message and say, I didn't want to write a book, but I wanted to give you more information on what you had asked in the party. But I always stress the fun, and it's the best decision I've made, how much I love the company. Most people say I'm not a salesperson. I hear that all the time. But my response to that is, did I sell you counter cleaner, or did I share the love of the product? And 2 people have ended up joining because I've said that. They didn't buy it because I sold it to them. They bought it because I wrote something that they're like, oh, I'm going to try that in my car, or I'm going to try that on my stove. So it wasn't really selling. It's you're talking about a product you love. I think just sharing how
Absolutely.
much you love the company and the people of Scentsy and the product, you just spread that information. It entices people more than, will you please join my team? I really need a team. That is not working. That doesn't work.
Desperation never works.
No.
No, absolutely. I think number one, I think you did amazing tonight. You were nervous
Yeah.
and you are sick, and I think you knocked it out of the park. You did amazing. I'm very proud of you. So thank you for doing this. I'm just gonna, girls, if you guys see any comments that I might have missed, Eileen says enthusiasm is contagious. Absolutely. Tanya says, that's my answer. I just do what I do. I really encourage you guys to write down what you do, because another thing too is when you're training your team, the things that you do really need to be duplicatable. So you want to make sure that you're saying, well, I email my customers, I send out news, I send out a monthly mailer, I post on Facebook, I have a 3-day party, just kind of those type of things. Just write it down. Were there any questions, Eileen, Sarah, or comments that I missed?
There was a question, let's see, from Edith. She says, do you change it up when someone books from the host, so not showing the same thing? So she's referring to your Facebook parties and what you're posting.
Yes. If somebody I try to I have a agenda type of thing. So when somebody books off somebody, I don't forget, because a lot of times I'm doing a party for people I don't know, but I always write what I did in that party, so I'm not duplicating it. I still share the same products, but I write some stuff different, maybe a different experience. And I try not to play the same games or interactive posts. I always try to do, it might be similar, but different.
Awesome. Let's see, you already answered that question. And everyone just says praying for you, Bonnie, so that you get better. Let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, I think you covered it.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And we are all praying for you, that you are negative, or if you are positive, that you just start to feel better. So thank you guys.
It will get better. There's no question.
Yeah, for sure. All right, ladies, and gentlemen, if I don't think we have any gentlemen, but don't forget to fill out your hold on, are you good? Okay. Don't forget to fill out your surveys, your exit surveys. That really helps us to form the next program. And next week we will have another call. We're looking at doing a panel of consultants. And so if there's anything that you guys want to hear, or maybe that you're still like, I really wish I knew X, post it, talk to your superstar director, and we'll try to make that happen. So anything else, ladies?
Great. Thank you, Bonnie. Appreciate it.
Great job, Bonnie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll
Night,
see you
everyone.
later. Good night. Bye-bye.
Night.